When my wife told me she'd be leaving for a work trip, I didn't think much of it at first. She'd been saying her team was under a lot of stress and how everyone depended on each other to get through it. Still, there was something in the way she said it that unsettled me. She mentioned her work husband again, a joke she'd made before, but this time, it didn't sound like a joke anymore. My instincts told me something was off. Over the next few days, I noticed how unusually excited she was while packing. She insisted the trip was purely professional, yet she carefully chose her nicest dresses and her favorite perfume, the kind she normally saved for our date nights. I didn't say anything, but suspicion kept eating at me. I decided to check a few details on my own. After some quiet digging, I found the hotel she'd reserved, and realized she wasn't going alone. Her so-called work husband had booked a room there, too. Instead of confronting her right away, I contacted his actual wife. We'd met once at a company dinner, and I still had her number. At first, she refused to believe me, but once I showed her proof of the reservations, the reality sank in. Together, we agreed not to stay silent. We would confront them where they least expected it, at the hotel itself. When we arrived, we didn't rush inside. We wanted to see it with our own eyes. The lobby was elegant, full of travelers moving in every direction. We sat quietly in a corner, waiting. It didn't take long before we spotted them, side by side, laughing as they checked in at the front desk, looking every bit like a couple. My chest tightened, but I stayed calm. I looked over at his wife. Her face had gone pale, her hands were shaking, but her eyes burned with the same resolve as mine. We started walking toward them just as the clerk handed over their key cards. The moment they saw us, their smiles vanished. My wife's face drained of color, and the man beside her stuttered, lost for words. The air grew heavy. People nearby turned to watch, sensing what was happening. I didn't raise my voice or cause a scene. I simply said, steady and clear, "Seems like you both forgot to mention your real spouses are standing right here." His wife stepped forward and added, "And you really thought we wouldn't find out?" The look on their faces said it all: shock, guilt, and fear. They scrambled to explain, mumbling excuses about team bonding and just being friends, but the matching luggage and the way they'd been holding hands moments earlier told the truth for them. Everyone around could see it. They were caught, and there was no escape. I turned to my wife and said, "If this is what you wanted, you could have just been honest. But lying to me and breaking our vows, that ends now." Her eyes welled with tears, but they weren't from remorse, only fear of losing the comfort she'd taken for granted. I felt nothing but a cold finality. His wife didn't hold back. She told him straight that their marriage was over and he'd have to face the consequences of his choices. He stood there, defeated, realizing everything he'd built was collapsing within minutes. We didn't say another word. We just walked away, leaving them exposed in the middle of the lobby, stripped of their lies. As we stepped outside, his wife whispered to me, "They thought they were clever, but they forgot we had the right to the truth." The drive home was silent, but my mind felt clearer than it had in years. For so long, I'd brushed off the warning signs, her constant mentions of that work husband, thinking it was harmless teasing. Now I knew those jokes had masked something real, something broken. When she came home later that night, she begged for forgiveness, insisting nothing had gone too far. But trust, once shattered, can't be repaired. In the weeks that followed, I turned my focus inward, rebuilding a life where honesty mattered more than appearances. The pain was sharp, but it reminded me of one truth: betrayal cuts deep, but exposing it restores your strength. My wife didn't just lose my trust, she lost the future we were supposed to share. And I walked away knowing that sometimes, The most powerful revenge is simply revealing the truth at exactly the right moment.